We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back, all become a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new part of What If Will Was Clive Rossfield's Reincarnation. This is part 3, and in the last part, we went over on that on Will's final year in that of, well, Red Garden Academy, where he's, even to this day, he is still seen as that of the outcast, the talentless mage, the pointless student, the laggard, as constantly belittled all the time, even by that of his own teacher. Instead, however, even with that, he still has a few people who are close to him and always looking out. Not only that, his memories and that of the personality of Clive is starting to seep into that of Will now, becoming as the two personalities begin to merge and become one, not allowing Scion to basically insult him and just sit back and allow it anymore. Not only that, from that of Professor Wartner, he was given that of another task to give him more points in that of credits he needs, such as taking on a 4-point monster. However, instead, he takes on a 10-point monster, which is level 5, and saved that of his bully, Scion, by showing off his powers as the dominant Ifrit, which now giving Will at least more steps closer to his dream of being a Magia Vander with Elfiria. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? The very next day, classes basically go the same as always, and Will basically taking supplementary classes, basically extra classes, with that of Wagner, as he basically goes over that of history lessons and also the supplementary classes in magical theories too. However, when it comes to Wartner's extra lessons, where he's already intense enough, he becomes even more intense to the point that his lectures can go to borderline mind torture, causing many of the students to feel frustrated on how much materials that they need to remember. Even Will basically crying tears of annoyance and pain, with him mentally going, "This is worse than dying all over again." Several hours later, the extra classes have finally come to an end, with Will and Kiki basically leaving the room. However, little did Will basically was waited on by Colette, as that of the orange redhead walking over to Will saying, "Hey, Will, I'm guessing Professor Wartner's supplementary classes ended," saying, "Yeah, and honestly, he was even more brutal than usual." But then she's saying, "Kind of makes sense. Most professors don't even bother doing supplementary classes. They basically see it as beneath them after all." Within, Will couldn't help but nod, saying, "Yeah," placing his books under that of his left arm, within saying, "Professor Wartner's taking time out of his busy schedule to help us out after all. And to be honest, I appreciate that. the least I can do is basically suck it up and keep moving forward. Within, Colette can up say, that positivity of yours really is something else, Will. Within, Will can help and say, you think? Honestly, I'm just trying to stay motivated. As Colette couldn't help but smile, with Kiki basically meowing an act of acceptance as well. However, as they continue walking, a few students on that of the left corner were basically surrounding that of Scion and his two lackeys, with one of his lackeys trying his best to basically explain that Scion took out an evil sentry, the same evil sentry that Will took down instead. However, due to his, minions not knowing the truth, that the fact that Scion basically couldn't even land a scratch on him or even take it out, and it was Will the one who defeated him. He rather just let the lie go on, not accepting the truth about Will's dominant powers. That the fact about the one person that he saw as a non-talentless hack that basically barely had any talent as that of a fire mage has so much other power and strength, especially when he has a sword in his hands. Which then, as Will and Colette basically walk past them, that's when Scion saw Will and basically lost it. Standing up from that of his seat, walking past that of the students, going straight for Will, as he soon was trying to grab him by that of his collar. However, Will dropping his books and basically grabbing his hand. Within, soon, Will couldn't help but narrow his eyes, saying, "Can I help you, Scion? Or are you just really trying to piss me off today?" Within, everybody completely seeing this, with wondering if they're going to start fighting, as Colette saying, "Scion, what is wrong with you?" Within, soon, Scion couldn't help but basically ignored Colette's words, saying, "What the hell are you on about, laggard?" Within, Will couldn't help but get even more annoyed with that insult. Within saying, Do you see this school is nothing but a joke?" Within, Will saying, "Watch it, Scion. Judging me by not taking my schoolwork seriously is a pretty good horrible offense, and accusing one as well. I should be saying the same to you as well. Since you took out that of an evil sentry, shouldn't your points have doubled and out of the top 4? Within, hearing that, that's when a lot of students began to recognize, saying, actually, now he's got a point. I don't think Scion's points actually improved. Yeah, if he had 10 points, wouldn't that make it at least higher than it is before? Hang on, maybe we should start checking. Within, soon, Scion basically pulling his hand back from Will's grip. Within, saying, "You're not worth it." Within, soon, Will couldn't help but comment, saying, "Funny, I was thinking the same thing." As Scion gritting his teeth, while his lackeys basically follow after him, as they saying, "Hey, Scion, what's the matter with you?" Within, soon, Colette couldn't help but get annoyed, saying, "What's his problem today?" With Will picking up his books, saying, "It's not important. If anything, it's basically him just being angry at himself. That's all." Within, soon, saying, "I should probably go to my locker now. There's still so much materials I need to finish reading." Within, as Colette saying, don't mind if I tag along, saying, "Sure." As Will and Colette are heading back to that of their lockers, that's when Professor Edward is seeing that of Headmistress Cauldron, as that of the shaggy-haired and Aizawa ripoff basically couldn't help but comment, saying, "Headmistress, you must expel Will Surfort." Within, she basically finishing stirring her tea, within saying, This is quite abrupt of you, Edward. You never would basically tell me to expel a student automatically unless you have your concern," saying, "When I first met the boy, he was basically that of a talentless fire mage, only able to use magic through his hands and not even through a wand at all, showing his lack of talent in that of spell casting or spell crafting at all, and just using raw magic alone. However, last night I found the truth. His powers, these so-called dominant powers, why hasn't he used them before until now? Part of me believes he is basically belittling himself and all of his peers with such power, and yet he doesn't even prove himself at all. Within, soon, she's going to help but say, "You really think that, do you, Edwards?" Within, with that of a flick of her wand, that's when a book that has the listing and information on each and every one of the students here at the academy. As soon the book opens on its own before flipping onto that of Will's page. Within saying, "Will Surfort, currently in that of his 6th year here at the academy. He's gained quite a bit of credits and even enough to graduate actually. You basically wanting to expelling him when he already has the necessary credits alone to graduate from the academy is something quite alarming actually." Within saying, "My problem alone is that he thinks he can become a Magiavander without even showing his true potential and power." Within, she can help but say, "Fair enough. However, he has shown me quite a bit during his excursions down the dungeon, actually." Within, him hearing this saying, "What? So you've known about this?" Saying, "I've known for almost that of 5 years now." His abilities to transfer from one brand of elemental magic to another, creating constructs enough to basically fight against that of mages up close and personal. And it only shows that he's capable of doing such things when he has a blade in his hands. Wartner says that he's a magic warrior after all, and we should find a way to nurture this abilities of his. The best way to doing that is him fighting monsters in the dungeon. It's the reason on why he has enough credits to even graduate here in the academy, but still not enough to be a Magiavander. Hiding away his true talents and abilities is basically belittling everything that many students here work diligently to reach what they are now. And yet, somebody like him continues to hide them. I can't allow such a student to reach a Magiavander and hasn't even tried to reach it at all. Within, hearing this, Headmistress saying, "I see. Then, how about this? You shall test the boy." Hearing this, Edward couldn't help but be shocked, before then saying, "Just this once, I will allow you to oversee the boy's training, and you will do that of supplementary classes with him for that of your own test. For today, you have full permission to see how you think the boy is capable of, in that of continuing his education here, or completely removing it here. Outside of his combat alone, he's already quite a skilled scholar and possibly even that of an amazing healer as well, even with that of his fire magic. But if you believe that his dominant powers may cause a trouble for the school, I will listen to that of your judgment. But you must be fair with that for the test to achieve to see if he's capable enough to still be a student. Do I make myself clear, Edward?" Within, Edward couldn't help but smirk, saying, "Fair, you say? I understand." As he couldn't help but grab that of his messy hair before having that of a menacing and somewhat torturous smile, saying, "I'll test him and see his true mettle." Within, Edward soon leaves. Before then, she couldn't help but start sipping that of her tea, saying, "You are the only he wishes to be a Magiavander. I'll show him what it takes to be one. After all, you who was once known as the Black Viper, the one who was close enough to be the next dark Magiavander." Back with that of Will and Colette, as they basically study and go over that of their notes, with Will having that of multiple notebooks, books, and basically everything else. Mainly going over that of the Dwarf Rebellion, after all. With Colette seeing that Will knows quite a bit of the dwarves, especially about their history, their culture, and the reason on why they had to rebel in the first place against mages when they first came to this world, after all. With Colette couldn't help but comment saying, "You know so much about dwarves. Is it because that you feel pretty close to them?" As she tries having that of a calm and caring smile, with Will feeling a little bit embarrassed, adjusting his glasses, saying, "Well, somewhat actually. I understand the reason on why they rebelled and everything. To be honest, this world is so unfair to people without magic. Dwarves basically have that of inhuman strength, speed, and durability after all. But instead of seeing that of their potential of physical power, mages basically belittle them and see them as nothing but third-class citizens, unlike that of the elves who are treated like that of, well, the higher-ups and the strongest of the strong due to their high potential of magic. Not to mention, they are already at the top of the tower already. Within, Colette seeing that of the somewhat hidden fury behind Will's eyes through his glasses. Within, he continues saying, all I want to say is, this world needs to change sometimes, Colette. Especially this system and how it sees those with magic and those without it. There's always different forms of talent in this world. And yet, people don't want to see that. Within, soon, somebody behind him saying, oh really? Is that how you truly feel, Sir Fort? Within, both teens basically freaking out, seeing that of Professor Edward. Within, Colette saying, Professor Edward, I didn't see you there. Can we help you? As then, not even paying attention to Colette and continually glaring at that of Will, saying, Will, Sir Fort, meet me in a training hall at 6 p.m. alone. Within, hearing this, Will was shocked before then basically becoming suspicious about that of Edward's, proposal for him. As then, he soon walks off. Before then, Colette saying, what's all that about? Kiki couldn't help but basically growl, as Will saying, supplementary lessons it seems. Within, hearing that, Colette couldn't help but be shocked, saying, wait, really? Professor Edward of all people doing supplementary classes? Within, Will saying, yeah, seems like it. Within, Edward spoke up saying, and I do not expect tardiness. Go straight to that of the training hall at that very time. Do I make myself clear, Sir Fort? Within, Will saying, yes, sir. Within, Will as then somebody basically shushing that of Will, saying, sorry. As then the cowlick on his hair basically slumps down. As for Colette, she couldn't help but basically always look at that strand of hair, almost looking somewhat of adorable in a way on how it affects Will's mood in a way. Within, finally finishing up that of their note-taking and reviews over that of their notes. Within saying, I'll catch you later, Colette. Come on, Kiki. As Kiki couldn't help but meow back. Within, Colette saying, oh, yeah, see ya. As then, Colette soon walks back to that of her locker. As part of her thinking, I'm actually worried about Will. As then, she remembers the look in Will's eyes and the way he spoke about that of the current system, on how people are treated, on how those without magic like himself or those with barely any talent are treated as well. And what really caught her off guard is the words about there are other forms of talent outside of just magical talent alone. But then she thinks, what did he mean by that? As then she remembers the times that the two also went down the dungeon, where she saw that of his dominant powers. The same powers outside of his kindness, his caring, and somewhat always, opening nature attracted her to him back then. And now, it almost seems like Will is becoming or starting to act like somebody completely different back then when they first met. Within, Will and that of Professor Edward are now in the halls, completely empty, with only them and them alone. With that of the somewhat moonlit sky, still with that of the sun out, looking over that of the glass walls. As he's saying, well, Sir Fort, I'll let you know this now. This is one of the supplementary lessons I will rarely do, so I'll let this short. Since you're so low when it comes to that of spell crafting classes, I will give you that of an opening, and gain you that of several points if you can basically pass this test I have for you. Within hearing this, Will saying, wait, seriously, sir? Within saying, yes, all you need to do is do one thing. Within, looking at that of Will, as he brings out that of his wand, which is basically a black wand. Within, soon, that of a spell circle materializes right under Will, saying, "All you need to do is land one hit on me." As he soon says this, the spell circle grows even bigger and even glows larger as well, saying, "And that's before time runs out. You have that of 20 minutes to stop me and hit me. We begin now." Within, soon, Will was engulfed by that of the purple light before an explosion happens. However, Will was able to dodge it in the nick of time, using that of his fire magic to excel his speed, using one of his fast swipes from that of Clyde's memories, as Will couldn't help but basically huff in that of shock, Edward creating that of another spell circle, which soon says that of purplish fire towards that of Will. As for Will, he soon sends that of a barrage of his own fireballs as well. However, the fires can basically completely engulfed by that of the black flames, within saying, "What?" as he dodges the flames and attacks over and over again, using his own fire to enhance his speed and mobility. Before then, one of the flames nearly nicked his leg, causing him to wince, but still continue to move. Within saying, I see. You're using that of fire magic to enhance that of your movement and speed. Normally, to a normal mage, that seems completely waste of magic. But of course, you're not a normal mage after all." Within, soon, Will couldn't help but grit his teeth in that of annoyance, as he was about to engulf that of his power as a dominant, especially the dominant of Ifrit, but decided not to. Within, Edward saw the hesitation in his eyes and couldn't help but get even more annoyed. "You little brat." Before then, casting another spell saying, "Dardra," as that of spears of pure and utter darkness sent flying towards that of Will. As for Will, he dodges each and every one of the attacks at blinding speeds while using his flames as well, but in the same time, he realizes that the darts continue to get even faster and faster, wondering why. Before then, noticing that the spell circles were being overlaid by other spell circles over and over again, making them faster and stronger, saying he's basically using one spell by using that of several other spell circles to enhance them. Overlaying like that, it basically proves on how skilled he is. Within, soon, one of the darts nicked that of Will once again, causing him to wince a bit, but still stand his ground, before huffing once more, then saying, "Are you going to do nothing but just run away from me? I thought for sure that you would actually hit me and attack me." Within, soon, Will couldn't help but get even more angry at that of Edward, saying, "Screw this!" Using his flames to enhance his speed once more, as Edward sends another volley of Dardra darts once more. However, Will is able to dodge each and every one of the darts, before then enhancing his fist with that of his fire magic, trying to land a hit on that of his most hated and most annoying professor. However, soon a barrier erupts around it, as then saying Dora, as it being a dark barrier. And not only that, it's a simple dark barrier, not even a high-ranking dark barrier spell, as it was able to stop that of Will's punch cold. Within, realizing, "Oh no you don't," deciding to basically screw caution to the wind, he uses that of Ifrit's flames, as he engulfs his body completely in fire, as he's trying to basically ram his fist right through the barrier. Within, soon, seeing cracks through that of his barrier, he couldn't help but say, "You insolent little whelp!" As within, sending that of another burst of dark magic beneath that of Will. However, instead of able to dodge this time, he's basically engulfed by that of the darkness, sending him flying up into the air before bouncing on that of the ground. However, he stands back up, so basically huffing, and seeing that a little bit of blood is basically coming out of his mouth, before then growling once more. But then, soon, he couldn't help but say, such unsightly, such savagery like that of a dwarf. It's truly despicable. But then, soon hearing this, Will couldn't get even more angry, as then saying, you with that of fire magic, your talentlessness with casting is one thing, but to see that you have so much other ability, so much other power, after all these years you kept them hidden, only allowing that of your the headmistress, and even that fool Wagner basically know what you're truly capable of. I always wondered how you were able to gain enough credits to even graduate, but to think that the two of them have been hiding this and keeping this a secret about what you truly are, what you're truly capable of, from even the faculty, from me as well. It truly makes me sick to think a whelp like you can become a Machiavander by acting like this, for treating your fellow students beneath you. But then, soon, hearing this, Will could up and say, you don't know a damn thing, you bastard! But then, Will standing back up on his feet, saying, you know the reason why I kept a secret about my powers? The secret on why I don't show my dominant abilities? It's because of people like you. But then, soon, Edward can up and say, people like me? You, somebody who says that this world is dictated by magic and magic alone, that a person's potential is due to their magic and magic alone, not even seeing that they have more and other talents and abilities. And you look down on the dwarves? Don't make me laugh. Dwarves have at least a lot more pride and honor than any mage does. Within hearing that, it even made that of Edward even more angry. Let me get, you found out about my abilities as a dominant, and because of that, you hate the fact that I hid something from you, Professor. Your control freak kind of mind couldn't accept that. So instead you wanted to take your anger out on me and believe that I deserve to be expelled from the school because of it. Well, I got news flash for you, Black Viper. As he soon says this, he takes a stance, as he has his right foot forward and his left foot stretched back, before then crouching down, before having that of his left hand on his left hip and his right hand in front of his left hand, before then soon seeing something crackling in between that of his open palms. Soon it crackles in that of darkness, before blackened flames begin to engulf it, before soon drawing it like that of a katana. Within, Edward seeing that of the black blade, twisted, amalgamated, almost looking completely alien and foreign to anything that a mage has seen. However, for Edward though, he could feel it, the dark magic radiating from that blade. As Will could up and say, Blade of Odin, lend me your darkness. Within, soon, could feel the spike of dark magic basically radiating off of that of Will now, as he's no longer using fire magic. Within realizing, so this is what you're truly capable of, boy. As for then, Professor William having that of a quite feral look, saying, now then, show me what you can do then. Before then sending more of his dangerous spells towards that of Will. However, in that of a split second, Will was able to basically cut right through all of the dark spells with that of several slashes that almost looked like he only needed 3 slashes, as each one of the dark spells completely dissipated. Within, soon, Edward seeing this. As for Will, he's not even smiling anymore. Within, with that of Headmistress Cauldron, and that of a certain other person in that of her office as well, as it being Wagner, as they were seeing that of the match, as he came up and say, oh, Will. Within, saying, oh, so that's how he sees the world now. I knew that the boy was changing as time went on, but to think that the old soul within him is starting to affect his personality as well. Within hearing this, Warner saying, "What do you mean, headmistress? What do you mean this? What's happening to Will?" Within, she's saying, "It's not my place to say, but I will give you a hint, Warner. That boy is special, not just because of his dominant powers that he calls, but because of another person that he once was." Within hearing that, Warner saying, "The person that he once was?" Currently outside of that of the school, being that of, well, Colette, and she was originally in that of her locker, decided to close it again. However, little did she know, Kiki soon enters and tries to open that of Will's door. However, she's not unable to due to that of Will having that of several locks and certain ways to basically prevent people using that of spells to open it due to certain mishaps in the past after all. Within, Colette saying, "Kiki? What's the matter?" Within, she couldn't help but basically meow and that of worry for Will. Within, back with that of Edward and also Will, as he cuts through each one of the attacks and basically still having that of a connection to that of his fire magic as the dominant Ifrit, still dodges each and every one of them with that of a fire slide. Within, before then, going close to that of the barrier again, as he creates another dark barrier to prevent Will's attack to basically pierce right through it. However, no matter what, the attack continues to crack it. Before then, sending another burst of dark magic below Will. However, this time he was prepared and dodges it before it fully explodes. With it saying, "To think that you even have that of dark magic within you. I thought for sure that it's only that of fire, ice, wind, and earth. But to even think you have that of rare dark magic such as myself. Why? Why hide such a talent, Sir Fort? Why hide such a gift?" Gripping that of the blade, within saying, "It's because of this. It's how this world is like. It sickens me. We value magic and power over all else. We don't value that of people who have that as pure and utter talent, an ability to work hard to achieve what they are at. If that was the case, then it would be the same with the dwarves. But instead, we treat them like that of servants and workers. And no wonder they have them basically rebel against us. And yet, even during the rebellion, they were still acknowledged for their strength, still acknowledged for their power. And yet, the people of today forgotten about that. They acknowledged them at least once. You say this world is run by magic? You say that heroes are mages? Don't make me laugh." Pointing the dark blade at that of Edward, saying, "I'm going to be a Magiavander and change this world." Within, Suit saying, "So that's your reasoning? Your reasoning for being a Magiavander? So you want to change the system of this world? Do you really think it's that easy?" Saying, "Maybe not. However, changing the world is a side note for me." Within, Edward saying, "Side note?" And having that of a look of pure and utter confusion as Will continues. As Will having that of a look of determination. As it almost looks like he's looking past Edward. As he almost looks like he's looking at that at the tower itself. Outside of the training ground. Within saying, "She's waiting for me. The woman I love is waiting for me." Within saying, "The woman you love." Within realizing, "You don't mean the current Ice Magiavander, Alfiria Alvis. Serfort, you're being a Magiavander because of love? Something like that?" As the man is pure and utter fear, hatred, and annoyance, as more and more dark spell circles begin to materialize, as each and every one of them overlay, lapping with each one, showing on how much powerful that they are becoming. As Will prepares in a combat stance once more, blade close to that of to his head is once, saying, "It's not like I think an washed out Magiavander such as yourself would understand. A person who even failed to even become one." Hearing that, gritting his teeth in that of pure annoyance, raising his wand, saying, "You damn whelp!" Within, soon sent the magic darts began to get even faster and faster and larger as well, causing that of Will to realize, damn it, they're too fast now. I got no choice. Within, soon, darkness began to channel all across that of Will's body into that of a full-on burst that basically looks like that of a pure aura of evil. Before then, Will's eyes changed for a split second with that of a red gleam. Before then, sending that of a volley of slashes toward all around him that basically destroy each and every one of the darts, causing every one of the attacks to completely and utterly cancel out from one another. As for Edward, he couldn't help but basically huff in that of annoyance and also exhaustion, realizing he's using too much of his own mana just for something like this. However, seeing that time is almost run out, the course is set in stone. Even with somebody with his talent, he's not worthy of being a Magiavander. However, little did both of them know, however, Will could sense it. Somebody coming before smirking, as coming through that of the training halls on that of the top balcony, as it being Colette screaming, "Will, take this!" As she has that of his long sword, and basically throwing it towards Will. Within soon, Will dematerializes that of his Odin sword, before then jumping up into the air using his flames to propel himself, grabbing that of his blade, putting it on his back, before unsheathing it. Within, flames begin to coat that of his blade. Within, Edward seeing the saying, "What?" Within, remembering, just like before, honestly, that barrier is going to be much of a problem, no matter what. So, weakening it is my best sort. Before then, he lands back on the ground before switching his dominant back from that of Odin to Rama, as lightning begins to crackle around his body in his left hand. Before then, the lightning fully materializes that of a staff, almost completely look like it's made out of wood before it continues to crackle lightning. Within, realizing even lightning too? But it's purple than that of the typical yellow. That's the highest ranking form of lightning magic. Before then, saying, "How you like this, Professor?" Crackling the lightning across that of the staff before tossing it up into the air, before screaming, "Judgment bolt!" Within, tossing as the rod begins to descend, he creates his barrier. As soon as it made contact, a burst of pure lightning basically coats the entirety of the barrier. Before then, the lightning goes out of that of the training hall, destroying the rooftop entirely, causing Colette to go down to her knees alongside that of Kiki. However, Will sees the perfect opportunity and rushes towards that of Edward, as then, after just a few more cracks, the barrier completely shatters, causing Edward to basically be completely and utterly stunned, saying, "But how? How did he?" Before he could react fast enough to create another barrier or a spell to basically stop Will, that's when Will was already behind him, and his sword basically already brought down, as Edward soon felt that of a cut right on that of his right cheek, as even though it came from that of a heavy blade, it was still pretty shallow. Within, soon, Will, standing back up, before sighing, saying, "So, did I pass, Professor?" Having that of a smug smile. Before then, soon, still completely and utterly in shock. Before then, sighing, saying, "Yes, you have passed. I W that of 5 credits, and that a spellcrafting class." But then, soon, Will putting the sword in that of the ground, before then using it to basically lean on, saying, "Good, because I think I'm not going to take any more supplementary classes from you from now on, Professor. Within, soon, William can up and say, huh, don't expect it even more either, whelp. Within, walking away as he's heading to the exit before stopping, saying, do you really think somebody like you could change this system if you continue to hide who you truly are, Sir Fort? Within, Will looking at that of his, well, somewhat annoying as teacher, before then saying, maybe not, but do you really think people are ready to know what I am, or who I am, when I prefer to use a blade over a wand? Within, hearing that, Edward saying, maybe not, but at least try and be honest with yourself from now on. And the rest of the faculty, we're teachers here. We're supposed to help our students. Even you, Sir Fort. After that, he finally leaves. But then soon, Will saying, still an asshole, but he does have a point. Within, pulling out the blade, before it soon, Colette and Kiki rushing towards Will, as Colette basically worried for Will, with the same goes for Kiki, meowing constantly, as Will trying his best to placate both of them, but easier said than done. Back with that, the headmistress and Wartner, as Headmistress Cauldron couldn't help but basically smirk, saying everything worked out fine. And not only that, we now know another reason on why young Sir Fort wishes to be a Magiavander. Within, Wartner couldn't help but be shocked, saying, I've been with the boy for so long and saw his potential, but to think he wants to be a Magiavander to try and change the system. He knows that it's easier said than done, given on how long this system has perpetuated throughout our entire world. Within, she could up say, all the more reason to basically nurture and cultivate his talents as a dominant. It's time for us to show the world on what a boy with that of a unique form of magic and a blade can truly do. When you say, Wartner, as the white-haired, glasses-wearing professor couldn't help but smile, saying, yes, ma'am. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Let's read them. So, how did you guys like this part? I wanted to basically make this still pretty close to that of the canon of the anime, but not in the way where it was so pretty damn one-sided for that against with Will and Edward after all. I wanted Will to still hold his own, but still struggle at the same time. Not to mention, since Clive's memories and his personality is now affecting that of Will, Clive's ideals of that of life and freedom is starting to affect him as well. Which means Will isn't just going to be aiming for that of Magiavander to be that beside that of Elfie's side. That's the main goal, but the side goal is to change how the system works in this world as well. And who could say, Sid the Outlaw may make a return after all. So yeah, at any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification key to date my videos upload the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, side channel, other channel, Patreon, and Cash App. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, and hope you all take care. You know what to do, my Shiro.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!